Alright YouTube, I'm here with another video by YongYea. Nintendo faces backlash as Switch 2 breakdown reveals some the same Joy-Con components with same drift issues. So apparently they're using the same Joy-Con analog sticks. So I don't know. I want to learn more about this. I'm curious, and I feel like this is an issue that's going to be prevalent throughout the life cycle of the Switch 2. I don't like doing videos that are like obsolete after a while, but
the Nintendo Switch
I think we're good
2,
here.
It is finally out, ladies and gentlemen, and I've got one with me right here.
Let's see what's
I've
up.
been playing it the last few days, and look,
Oh
as
boy.
a device from a pure hardware
And you could
standpoint,
definitely in the chat
really
just let me know what's up, what you think about this, because like it's crazy that they're using. I wish they were kind of metal, but obviously that's too much to ask.
I love the way the Joy-Cons attach and detach
Yeah,
magnetically.
see, it seems cool, like the magnets and stuff.
On it. The fact that
So I'm saying overall, it seems really good, but
if they're updated, that's really great.
the fact that the fact that people already have drift issues is actually nuts. Like if that's true and it's like substantiated and it's not just conjecture, that's wild. Because I did see that Nintendo themselves were doing what they did with the original Joy-Cons, where they are going to allow you to send them in for free for a replacement and or them just to fix it. But the thing that gets me too, apparently sometimes the fixes all they did was put like a foam pad inside of the Joy-Con. So my thought process is, why didn't they just do that preemptively? It's a foam pad. You know, you could spend a little extra for a foam pad, but
games just straight up run better on the Switch 2.
Yeah,
and it is a
I'm
great
just saying
piece of hardware. It's got
pretty silly.
A good selection of games at launch. I think it still needs more games like Mario Kart if you're not into that.
Yeah, because basically Mario Kart's the only game.
That's what a lot of people are waiting for. Just
yeah. People are looking for more stuff. Donkey Kong Bonanza is coming up like next month, I think.
It's a great device.
I'm dating this video right now.
There are elements of the Switch
also watching another stream. Apparently, the download time and connecting to PCs is crazy.
Of AAA games.
I can believe that.
The fact that game key cards are a thing at all, basically physical releases that don't have the data.
It's what he's saying right now about like key cards and stuff too. Because the fact that you have to download the games for the key card instead of like, because they only have 64 gigabyte cartridges, which is absolutely silly and ridiculous. I kind of wish that they still had it. They did how they did back in the Switch 1. We have your 4 gigabyte, your 8 gigabyte, your 16, 32, so on, up to 64. Because now games like Bravely Default, which are about 4 gigabytes or so, have to be on the 64 gigabyte card. Henceforth, they're going to use a game key card, which, because it's a lot cheaper to obviously make a game key card than put storage on there. So a lot of these games that are below 64 gigabytes are going to be on game key cards. And even if it is on, 64 gigabytes or lower by just like 63 gigabytes or something, most companies are probably not going to do physical everything on the cartridge. So if you don't have any internet, you can't play your game. And I feel like this is going to be an issue too for parents that are trying to buy a game for their kid to play on the go. And that obviously a kid's going to want to play immediately. So I could see that being an issue as well a little bit. I mean, I know that's like a niche case, but
and then there
this is really silly.
Potential of Joy-Con drift. Recall that back in
Yeah.
April 7th of
the fact that this is still happening is
prior to the Switch 2's launch,
blows my
Nintendo
mind.
Life confirmed with Nintendo
Yeah.
that the Joy-Cons on the Switch 2 will not have Hall
So there's no
sticks.
Yeah.
What that means
So
is
Hall
that
effect
people
sticks are great, man.
We might be looking at a similar
Okay, so
situation
has
to
it not
Switch
happened?
1,
Is it just
where
people
Joy-Con
are
drift would
worried
be
it might
a
happen?
prominent
Okay, if this
issue.
is the case,
They
then
did say, however, that they have designed the Joy-Con
but I heard it
controllers
happened
from the ground up.
But I heard
they
it's
did not
happened already.
confirm
But
or
again,
deny whether drift
I
would be
don't
an
know.
issue. Drift was just not something that they mentioned, even though that's clearly why the question.
I hear that too. I got a Switch Lite for exactly. I hear that a lot, where parents get the same reason why parents would get a 2DS instead of a 3DS. No clamp, so like obviously it's harder to break. Yeah, Switch 2 costs so much, to give to a kid all willy nilly. So that's 100%. Yeah, for sure.
Question of like, are these Hall effect sticks were asked, and Nintendo has
Yeah,
chosen to
Hall
just,
effect sticks
like,
are great
not
too. They
address the
use
issue
those
at all
in the
prior to
Dreamcast, man.
release.
I
Now,
don't
Joy-Con drift,
understand.
for those who don't know, is an issue that is
Like the Dreamcast had really good. They don't drift at all. But all these companies now, I feel like they're just very cheaping out.
By wear on the thumbsticks, internal carbon.
It's because it's almost like it's obsolete. It's planned obsoleteness, and they just want you to buy a new one instead of sending it in.
Input when they shouldn't, and that is
Yeah.
such a prominent issue with the Switch 1.
It was an issue in Switch 1. I actually had to get new Joy-Cons or send them into Nintendo. That's happened to me.
Replacements for free. And the hope was that
Like the red
this
ring
whole,
of death
well, we
on
built
Xbox
the
360
Joy-Con 2s
happened to
from
me
the
as well a
ground
few
up
times.
would on some level indicate that they really did try to resolve the Joy-Con drift
Hey, cool
issue,
whip. How's
even
it going,
if they
homie?
are not Hall effect sticks, that somehow they managed to find some kind of solution that at least would improve upon
Yeah, no,
that.
this
But
is actually
Nintendo
really
still yet
wild,
to
man.
address that issue. And now that the Nintendo Switch 2 is out, we've got folks like iFixit here kind of breaking down the internals
Oh, hey,
of
what's
the
up?
Nintendo
That's
Switch
cool.
2.
Welcome in. I hope you're having a good time. I hope you have a good time. You like just got here. It's your favorite word. That's cool. I mean, it does sound pretty nice. I think the word itself sounds cool.
Including the Joy-Cons, and what they've
All right,
discovered is that it's basically the same situation. The way
but it looks like it's a little bit.
Is exactly
I don't know. I don't have it in my hand. I can't tell. But I just see the stick. It did look very similar.
Drift are very high. Here's how iFixit put it in this video.
Oh man.
Nintendo says the new Switch 2 Joy-Cons
Yep.
are better, but did they fix drift? To start with,
Oh, dude, I love watching. I'm over here. I love watching. I love watching things be like taken apart like this.
Repairability on the Switch 2 is not great.
This looks a lot harder than the Switch, the original Switch to repair. Original Switch looked like it was a lot easier to take apart.
Expert to
Yeah, this looks a lot more complicated.
and fix it.
A couple of clips on the stick housing, and hey presto, the stick is out. As I open the joystick housing,
It's the same thing, right?
to lose hope. To fix the drift problem, Nintendo would need to use a different kind of sensor.
So can they not foam it? Can that put like a foam thing?
Most modern joysticks
Okay, so they can't.
to read the voltage.
Okay, so did they change it then?
Across a strip of resistive material. That material wears
Okay.
down over time, or plastic and dust can dirty the sensors.
This is interesting. I'm just learning, so I'm just kind of like paying attention.
Sticks are both drift resistant.
They should have used Hollow Effect, man.
Joy-Cons attached with magnets.
That would ruin it too.
Sensor. TMR is far more resistant to magnetic interference, so maybe.
Oh, I see.
Joysticks look almost exactly like the old sticks. Same drifty sensors.
This is, yeah, honestly.
Different form factor.
Or if you do buy one,
Now, maybe just drive
Faye,
it gently.
high key.
So yeah, that
If you do buy one, for a kid, dock only. Dock only. Like you put that thing like in a spot where they can't get to, or they don't see, or they don't know. Dock only. I feel like that's like a good solution as well. But at the same time, controllers. So definitely watch them so they don't just like smash the controller. But the tablet would be okay, which is obviously the main unit.
that's basically the rundown. There are solutions that make it.
I've seen Spawnwave talk about how
joysticks having drift
his
is much
Switch
less
2 is
likely.
dock only
There's a Hall
for that
effect
reason.
Route, though,
So.
of course, given the magnetic nature of the Joy-Con attachments, that may be
Yep.
less of a possibility because magnets might interfere. Hall
Hell
effect,
yeah.
for those who don't know, they rely on magnets, and we got
They do rely on
close to
magnets,
each
so
other
that is true as well.
interfere with each other. But
Yeah,
then
yeah, that
you've
makes
got
sense.
other solutions mentioned here.
I didn't think about
are a
that.
possibility, but Nintendo, it didn't seem like they really tried to resolve this issue
From the
for
ground
customers,
up.
and they're leaving it to customers to essentially send the
Or
Switch
the
2
testing.
Joy-Cons
Or
in.
basically the testers.
Nintendo is offering free replacements for drifting
So my
Joy-Con
thing is,
2
did they say
controllers,
that, or
as
like did it
stated here
happen
by
already?
Exerto.
Because like I saw this tweet, but I was like, see, the thing that like made me confused about this tweet is it says Nintendo's offering replacements for this, so it's almost like they know that it's happening. Like this is the part that gets me, man, because like I don't know if it happened already, and that's why they're saying this, or they're just being super preemptive about it. And if they're being preemptive about it, that's like really scary, man. And you have Switch 1 and Lite, but I used the Lite. Yeah, for Zelda. Okay, I got you. There's a new Zelda. Yeah, there definitely is. Trust me, I know they are. They upgraded Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom with their with the Switch 2. But yeah, I could see a new Zelda coming out. I don't know when. I don't know what it would be, but we'll see.
Which also highlighted that they include the same parts. They also drift, and you can see that this
Yeah.
social media post went
It got.
viral. People
I
just
know. I
really being
messaged.
baffled.
Was that Spawnwave?
This social media post went viral.
Okay, no, that was Spawnwave. That's just
People
Xero.
really being baffled that Nintendo.
I had to check. I was like, was it? Because I mentioned it like a second ago. That'd been really funny.
that they went through trying to mitigate the PR nightmare that this was.
Yeah, here we
they
go.
Wouldn't
Let's see
make
what this
any
is.
attempt to really resolve this issue. So the
Yeah, this
bafflement
is
in the
actually
comment
really
section
crazy, man.
Is
The
pretty
fact that
sky high.
there's
But yeah,
a Luigi
Nintendo
meme.
is offering replacements. You can see
But
right here that Nintendo posted
them
a following
saying it, man.
screenshot highlighting
Nintendo replaced drifting joy. Yeah, okay. So it costs 0. Okay, so you could do it on the site already.
this program.
That's
we can
interesting.
Send a replacement in, and they'll do so for free.
Yeah, that's-
But the thing is, they're putting the onus and the trouble on the consumer.
I'm sure that is. I have yeah. No, you're real. You're real. All it really is like, I guess maybe the game will be more stable, which is probably nice, and look a little bit nicer. Well, actually, maybe not. No, because they got the upgrade pack. So yeah, I guess they look a bit nicer. They might be a bit stable. So
consumers, because Nintendo refused.
It's not really like a
trouble of
next
really
generation. So
issue.
I
So
get
if you
you.
send this in and you kind of try to repair your Joy-Cons through Nintendo. Yes, it won't cost you, but it will
cost
be
you time for sure too.
Of around 8 to 14 business days.
8 to 14 business days.
So
yeah,
that
like I
is
said, it'll
a
cost
lot
your
of
time.
days where you're left with a Switch 2 that is
Yeah.
not functional unless you have an additional pair of Joy-Cons,
Which
or
is
unless you have like
crazy.
a Pro controller and you decide to play your Switch
Pro controller
on your TV in the living room environment. But if you want to take it on the go,
the prices of the controllers going up too is actually ridiculous if you try to do that.
Because Nintendo refused to resolve the issue outright or mitigate it enough where this won't be a prominent issue. It's just something that obviously is not sitting well with a lot of people.
I'd imagine it's not.
We won't hear about
that would
Joy-Con
kind of
drift
irk
for
me.
a while. Over time, as they
Over
start
time, it
wearing
might.
down,
I don't
in a
know.
year or two,
I need to see
we'll
like
probably
actual
start
people
hearing
talking
the
about this
massive
though.
reports
Like
of
if them saying it
Joy-Con drift. There's
preemptively and nothing
research
happens,
about how prominent Nintendo
but still,
Switch 1's Joy-Con drift
40%.
issues
Yeah, I
were,
definitely
with
had
this
it.
Research from which.co.uk highlighting how 40% of
We'll have to
Nintendo
see here.
Switch
I don't know
owners
how
have
long it
suffered
would take for the first
persistent
instance though.
Joy-Con drift problems. And keep in mind that
The
with
only thing I
Switch
could think
2,
of is somebody.
Joy-Cons are
The only
much
thing I
more
could think of if
expensive
it
than
were to happen
Switch 1.
now is if somebody like purposely broke it. Like somebody purposely like on
One Joy-Cons. They're already
Yeah,
more
on it,
expensive than
but-
Switch 1 Joy-Cons when they were announced, but then that price point went up.
Somebody said they did
post-announcement
already though for
because
playing a lot of
the
Mario
tariffs.
Kart, so I don't know.
$95 a pair.
Somebody could
And
just
the thing about going to
I mean,
Nintendo
people
service
lying
to
on the
repair your
internet?
Joy-Cons is that it's just a lot
Never.
of trouble on the consumer's end, which is why you'll see right here in this research that half
Getting
of
a
the owners
blanket.
told us they didn't
Like, yeah, I'm not
contact
gonna lie, I'm
Nintendo
kinda
for help
cold.
for whatever reason, and instead shelled out for new Joy-Con controllers to fix the issue. It's also worth mentioning that Nintendo's free service repair is not something that's widely advertised.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's true too. They don't even advertise it, so people would just buy it.
This stuff, but
People
your
that aren't
average
would just
Joe
buy
may not
one.
even know that this service exists. So as far as they know, their Joy-Cons
$90
broke and they have to get new ones, or they're going to be folks out there who don't want to wait, like 2 weeks to
Yeah, and then just
not
buy
be able
new
to
ones
play the
anyway.
Switch 2 and just prefer to go out to a store.
That's true as
and
well.
Just get a second pair of
Like I said,
Joy-Cons
planned
instead of going through the
obsolete.
trouble because spending $95
They just feel that they're
is
gonna get
less
more money.
trouble. There's a negligence there of them not taking this issue as seriously as they should. That is
Yeah.
just baffling.
I feel like it's
with
just
this
I feel
sequel
like
to
it's very
Nintendo Switch
purposeful.
2. And I'm
Slightly,
hoping that
maybe,
there's
most
some
likely.
R&D going on where down the line they'll release
A
new
revision.
versions
Yeah, a
of the
revision would be
Switch 2
cool, but
Joy-Cons that are
I'm not
more
holding my
terrible
breath.
than what will potentially be a major issue.
A lot of these
down the
companies
line.
do this
research
type of
also
things.
shows that not everyone
English?
managed to get free repairs or free
English?
replacements. Of those who did contact Nintendo for a fix, 1 in 5 did not receive a free repair or replacement
Really?
set of Joy-Cons for whatever reason. So even if you
Really?
do send in your Joy-Con 2s for repair, for whatever reason,
could send them
Nintendo
back,
might
not-
decide that you're not eligible for repairs or for replacements.
That's
it'll
scary.
seem for a minute
Yeah,
like
that's scary.
everything's honky-dory because it takes a while for the Joy-Con 2's analog sticks to break down and to show that wear and
Who
tear
knows
that
how long
leads
it's
to
gonna
drift.
take, man.
But as research here shows, well over 57% of Switch owners said that the drift
57%?
problems occurred in the first year of owning
First
the
year.
game console. So I get the
Okay.
feeling that
That's wild.
by
It just took me
next
that long.
year,
Then again, I
around
wasn't
this
a heavy
time,
user.
This is when we'll start hearing about people complaining
I wasn't a
about
heavy
these
user,
drift
so-
issues, and that's when this will once again
Got
become
it.
a problem for
Got it.
Nintendo and for consumers alike. It's also worth highlighting that this free replacement program is only for the United States and certain regions. There are
Yep,
other
yep.
regions who don't necessarily get this treatment.
Thoughts on the new Mario Kart? I mean, I'll have to play it, but I mean, I'll say this: like, it looks fun. I mean, obviously it's different because you got like the grinding and all that stuff, but I mean, it looks fun. I can't really say much because I haven't like seen too much of like how the Grand Prix works and all that stuff. I've seen people do like time trials and just like play with their friends, and they got the camera and it looks really funny. But like, I feel like I would have to play it to really judge it. But Mario Kart itself, I guess I wasn't always like super interested in. But you know, I'll give this one a go. It looks really fun to me. I think the knockout mode is the thing that people were really talking about. That was a lot of fun. But you know, I guess it's just personal preference on like what kind of game you like, you know. But I know I kind of gave like a non-answer, but it's kind of hard to give one without it like in my hands. I feel I don't know. I try to judge things like I keep saying like I apologize. I try to judge things with my you know personal Yeah, that's the word.
So US folks will be okay on that front, but for a lot of other regions where Joy-Con 2s are just as expensive, if not more, they're fucked if this issue persists, and it will, because it's...
Okay, that's just funny. You're fucked. Like, he wasn't cursing this whole time. Like,
literally the same mechanism as the Switch 1. And during the Switch 1 era, we saw that even years after the Switch 1's launch, Joy-Con drift issues persisted.
Yep,
it was
still
a huge problem. And I mean, the amount
look at
of
that
lawsuits
beautiful
that
bald man that's on the screen.
From the US, from Europe, from Canada, so on and so forth.
All the news are good with the ad. I was like, fun. I'm just saying because they removed Blue Shy Guy. That was like me when in Ultimate, Yoshi, he didn't have a like a black variant. I was like, because it just was so cool. It looked really cool.
It was substantial, and I feel like Nintendo's just...
They switched it with like Yoshi's Epic Yarn version, or not Epic Yarn. Essentially, they yarned him out. I was like, why?
Detailing the myriad lawsuits that they were facing across the world, around the world, from both big firms and small families. And so it is baffling to me. It is genuinely unbelievable to me.
Yeah.
The Joy-Con
I'd imagine it's crazy because if it was like a family and then they're all using the Switch.
Nintendo knew about it, but they decided
probably happen a lot more often.
It was less trouble to let consumers deal with it than for Nintendo
than them to deal with it. Yep.
But I mean, once
that's
this
just business.
starts to become a prominent issue a year or more down
nobody
the line,
cares.
I mean,
Literally, it's just like Nintendo. It's Nintendo fans. It's Nintendo, like, just understanding they don't have to.
$95
like,
pop,
people would complain, yeah, but is it going to outweigh like the majority? Absolutely not.
This is essentially like a subscription. Every year or two, you have to pay $95
for
your ability to be able to input on your Nintendo Switch 2 through your Joy-Cons, because they have an expiration date, essentially, a really unreasonable expiration date. And so that's just something worth keeping in mind.
Yikes.
But even then, that's not stopping Nintendo
That's not stopping people from buying a bunch. It sold like 30 million or whatever first,
because the appeal of the Nintendo Switch
the weekend, I think, right?
For the most part, it is a great piece of hardware that offers.
I hope it flops. Nah, it's definitely it's definitely not track. It's definitely not track. It's definitely up there, and people are loving it. And
performance on the go. It's really cool stuff.
Yeah, it is what it is, man.
All the qualms that have been mentioned about the Nintendo Switch 2 prior and
this is just crazy as like its own thing. I don't understand.
But yeah, for those who don't know, the Nintendo Switch 2 is breaking records.
I don't know. Yeah, see, it's breaking records. This is the thing I'm saying too. Like, you're like, oh, I hope it flops hard, but the thing is, a lot of people that said that, Drake, believe it or not, actually bought a Switch 2. Fandom too strong. Yeah, the people that even say, pay with your wallets, don't buy this, they end up buying it anyway. A big example of that would be some ordinary gamers, Mudahar. He himself made a whole video talking about don't buy this. As soon as it comes out, the same day it comes out, so I'll go to Switch 2. He did an apology video. I might actually show that for a second after this because
3 million units in
it's actually crazy. Actually, no. Let me talk. Actually, let me show you now. It's actually nuts. Here, let me like F11 so I could just click YouTube. Here we go. Watch. I guarantee it's like up there. Some ordinary gamers. Here we go. Yeah, they're right there. The tutor was awesome, but and they're showing problems. All right. Unless he deleted the videos, which wouldn't surprise me, but we'll see. Hey, see, like, here's his sorry. So, see, where is it? Like, right here, he's like hating on the Switch 2. He's switching on the, like, maybe he deleted his first video saying, don't buy it. No, right here. Please don't pre-order this. And he's talking about the Switch 2 in this video, right? Right. And then, literally the next day, Switch 2 dropped. And then, sorry. It's so funny, man. Look. He's a content creator, I get it, but to flip-flop that fast is the craziest thing.
Last console to achieve a record was the PlayStation 4.
Oh, sure, actually.
It came nowhere close to what the Nintendo
like this
Switch
video.
2
Like, I'm gonna like that video. Thanks.
The PS4 launched to 1 million units sold worldwide within the first 24
Switch 1 bought like 2 games. Yeah.
Triple that. in the first
I feel you,
24
Drake.
hours.
I got
So
to Switch
that
one,
is
and I feel like I barely
pretty
used
insane,
it.
and so there's no
Bought a
slowing
couple
down on
games,
this
I never really
console,
finished them
and
all.
generally, you know,
But
it
if I
looks
do
like,
get Switch
this
2, I
appeal
probably
of the
will
Nintendo Switch
compel
2
me to play
is pretty
the Switch 1
widespread.
games I didn't finish,
But
honestly.
just know what you're getting into, you know, and with Nintendo not allowing for early Switch 2 reviews, the
But,
fact that
yeah.
this information wasn't
Use it
known
when I
until
fly.
after
Yeah,
launch
yeah.
because Nintendo
That's mainly when I
decided
used
that they
mine, was
don't
on
wanna
like a
do
cruise or something.
pre-launch review program for people to
Or if I
be
was like in the
fully
airplane,
informed
for
about
sure,
what
for
they're
sure.
buying. That also
But then I got
makes it
Balatro on my
doubly
phone,
scummy
so.
because they kept people in the dark, consumers in the dark, and had them pre-order
Yeah,
the Switch 2
if
on
you're
hype
very
without
savvy,
allowing them to be fully
I get what he's saying
informed
too.
on all of these
If
things
you're
that
very savvy,
they
you'll
would have been
know,
informed
but
on
most
if
consumers
Nintendo had
probably
sent out
won't,
units for
because not
breakdowns
everyone's like a
these to
super
happen
like
and
gamer
for
nerd.
information to be released before launch so that people could understand exactly what it
They're
is
not going to
buying, what
though.
are
They're
the
not going to be
pros and
transparent
the
because they
cons,
know.
and the Joy-Con drift issue potentially being
They know.
something that's going to
They know if they don't say anything, more people are going to buy it. It's just that
is a pretty
simple.
major con, you know, for people who can't afford to spend $95 a year or whatever, or $95 every time
For
the
sure.
Joy-Cons break down. That is something that is
It's
worthy
extra
of
cash,
consideration,
but
and we only
Nintendo
know
fans don't
now
care.
after launch.
Been avoiding
after
your
3 million
Switch,
people bought
even
the
down the
Switch
Pokemon
2,
Unite
now
on my phone
knowing
just
this
to avoid it.
information. But
I
now
feel
we
you.
know, and so I'm just putting that out there.
I
so
play
that
Unite
you
on the
know
phone
for
though.
sure
When I do play
what it is
Unite,
you're
I do
getting
like playing
into,
it on the phone.
hopefully,
I actually think it runs way
know,
better
that
on my
we
phone than
get
it
some
ever
kind
did
of,
on the
I
Switch.
don't know, Joy-Con 2 refresh, or somebody
These
comes up
companies
with a
bank on
third-party
normies
solution,
just
I don't know,
seeing an
whatever
ad
it
and
is
buying it.
that,
Pretty much.
implements a joystick solution that is not prone to the Joy-Con drift, that renders these Joy-Cons useless.
Also, to be
when,
clear, Jack, I
those issues
think I feel
crop
like
up.
I just want to
But
mention
that's
too. I
one
made
man
it
to
clear
take. Let me know in the
that
comments
I
below what
will
your
get
thoughts and
one
opinions are on the Nintendo
pretty
Switch 2.
soon.
Did you get yours, and you know
when I
what's your
can.
time with it been like?
Just myself,
Share your
I've said
thoughts in
that.
the comments below, and
So
also,
just to
you
be,
know, what are your
I'm not
thoughts on
saying
the
I'm
Joy-Con drift
Switch 2
issue?
shit.
And to be further updated on all
I'm gonna get one
things
because I feel like I
gaming
should,
news, reviews, and discussions,
so I could just play with like
stay tuned
people.
right here
People
on
leave.
YongYea.
But also, I got
I'll see you guys next
Let me
time.
add that if I don't. I don't have that on. Let me add
YongYea
that.
out.
YongYea. Yeah, I can explain myself at the moment. Anyways, before that though, YongYea, guys, check that out. Heck yeah.